Welcome back to Carolina, where the Canes are 1-1-2 here in their own rink. We'll take a look at the 4 goaltending matchup, starting with Corey Crawford, who has given up 2 goals or fewer in 2 of his first 4 starts this season. And down at the other end, the guy who should be their workhorse, Cam Ward, who actually was supposed to be off on Sunday in their last game. But the guy who started Khudobin got hurt. And Ward came in, gave up 3 goals in half a game, took the loss. So when he was supposed to have a day off, he wound up getting thrown into the fray. And it didn't work out so well for him. As we get underway here in the PNC Arena.
In this first period of Blackhawk Hockey is brought to you by Chevy and Chevy Drives Chicago.com.
Jordan Staal moved this puck out of the zone. Talusi got it in. Now Talusi centered it, hit Crawford. Did it go in? He thinks he's got it under him. No indication from the official. That was a centering attempt by Gerby that Crawford tried to pick off and wasn't totally sure where it had gone.
Gerby and Talusi playing a little give and go and trying to get this puck all the way across, Pat, to Jordan Staal on that far side. And look at Corey Crawford. Just slides right over, squeezes those legs together and gets buried under the pads. A very innocent play that turned into a little bit of an adventure. There's the overhead look. There's the puck right under, and then you lose complete sight of it. Good job there by Crawford to hold on.
Now Taves steaming in, going to try to get to the net. Poke check by Ward at the last moment. Just a bull rush by Taves, but he couldn't get rid of an attempt. Now he battles in the corner. It jumped loose to Bickle. Ryan Bickle finds an open man. Keith with a good keep at the line, but his flip shot never got through. Falk cleared it, and it's bounced back to the Chicago line. Kane forced to chip that one in deep. It bounced off the end boards crisply, and an alert Ward will hang on to it.
Well, time now for our Hyundai What to Look For. Well, Brian Bickle off to a slow start to this point. Getting an opportunity, obviously, playing with Taves and Kane. How about Carolina, Pat? They've had a tough time in the third period, but also they've had leads late in games and have coughed up some points. Gave up a shorthanded goal to LA. Eventually lost that game, and then they had a lead late against the Detroit Red Wings and eventually lost that game as well. I think Detroit scored with under 20 seconds left to go.
And the last one we played, we referenced a stinker in their last time out, was on Sunday. Phoenix was in here. Phoenix was at the end of a road trip. The game was tied going into the third, and they lost it. In fact, the Hurricanes had nearly a full 2-minute two-man advantage, did nothing with it, and the wheels came off after that. All right, now the Canes, Eric Staal, some traffic trouble at the line, and sharp turns. His pass jumped away from Hossa. Now Hjalmarsson's got it to Oduya. Up the middle for Handzus, who's back in the Hawks lineup. His lead pass did not reach Sharp. Now the puck cleared back to center, and Canes look to reorganize. Semin, as they try to complete a change while hanging on to possession. That is successful, and both teams now have made some changes on the go. Harrison misfired on a pass attempt. Now has to chase back with Nordstrom in pursuit. They collide in the corner, and the Canes able to get control of it, clearing it out. A near steal, now a bouncing puck. Knocked away from Dwyer as Leddy was able to recover and tie up his stick well enough. Nick Leddy played it loose, and Shaw moved it to Saad. Roosevelt back in the Hawks line to find Saad. He's going to shoot from a tough angle. Out came Ward to meet the bid. Now Shaw works in the corner, and he won the puck. Andrew Shaw spins it loose. Oduya's long. Oh, tip just wide. Rebound to the boards. And Saad got help from Ben Smith. Smith has got points in 2 straight games. Puts this one in deep. They fight for it. Nash for Carolina, lost it. Shaw trying to fight it to the front, didn't work out that time. Dwyer failed to clear. Oduya sends it back around the boards.
Great shift there for Andrew Shaw. Outstanding first shift of the game. Pat, you called it. He won the battle initially, and I think that just gave him some confidence on that first shift. He won that first physical one-on-one battle that he had, and he stayed right with it and was really effective there.
Now they get it in. Here's a wrist shot by Bowman. Good stick, Hjalmarsson. That's way up and out of play. And a reminder, as you enjoy Coldman, look forward to Miller time later in the game night. It'll be brought to you by Miller Lite.
Plenty of Hawk fans here in Carolina.
Marcus Kruger steps out now with a face-off in the defensive zone. Going in there against Brett Sutter. Kruger got the draw to Keith. Seabrook cleared the zone. Smith and Bolliger, the line combination along with Kruger in the middle. Here's Grayson Bowman. Good stick, Seabrook. Ron Hainsey. Getting reloaded for Carolina. Now Belmore sends it forward. That didn't get very far, and Falk. No icing here, so Seabrook has to get back and played it to Leddy. Bank pass, jump loose at center, and Justin Falk. You know, we admire Duncan Keith and his great play and how often he plays. Jordan Stahl tried to center this. Seabrook in the way of that pass attempt. But this guy Falk, 27 in red, plays as much as Keith does for Chicago. And Falk broke up that rush. Kane got it though, dropped it back. Keith will bring it, fired it wide. Great chance for Duncan Keith, but missed the net. And now he reorganizes at center. Roosevelt. Pass broken up. Jordan Stahl pushed it ahead. Semin, a wrister. Oh, a good save by Crawford. It didn't look pretty, but he got the glove in the right spot. Now the Canes keep it in. Here's Semin centering. It jumped away from Ruutu. To Belmore. His shot. Good block by Roosevelt out in front. And now the Hawks had it and are able to clear it out to center where Sharp circles back.
A couple of good plays by Roosevelt defensively. Mixed up defensive pairs there. Pat, Seabrook got caught out on an extended shift there, and that's why you had Keith and Roosevelt out there together.
Osa chasing it down, centered it. Handzus, a shot and a save. War rebound to the Canes. Ruutu got it, then turned it over. And Hossa looks for Handzus, who was tied up along the boards. It's out of the zone. Long pass from Hjalmarsson missed. Icing is whistled.
Well, a couple of good opportunities at either end. There's Marian Hossa to Michael Handzus, and a good stop there from Cam Ward. And from our Xfinity telestrator, we're going to keep an eye on the positioning of the goaltender. The shot's going to come in from Duncan Keith, but look how far out he is. Look how far out Cam Ward is here, Pat. He's probably, what, 3 feet out on top of the blue paint? So if you're the Hawks, you want to go to school on that. You want to shoot off to the side of Cam Ward. You don't want to shoot right at him. Or you want to keep him in his net. Somebody's got to stand right in front of the net. And that's something we talked about in our Geico quote, talking about Coach Q wanting more greasier goals. Well, right there's an opportunity. The goaltender comes out there to cut down the angle. So if you want to prevent him from coming out, you got to stand there. If he does come out like that, you got to look to shoot off the side. That's going to keep a goaltender a little bit more honest.
Here's a long shot, deflecting wide. Now Dwyer checked and dug out from the side of the net. Here comes Keith. Hawks changing, not liking this matchup. The change completed. Shaw's out there now against the Nash line for Carolina, the so-called third lines for both teams here. And now it's cleared around by Murphy. Taken by Skinner. That Skinner's long one deflecting up high. Keith under pressure, able to play it around the boards. Took a funny hop off a partition, but Hawks able to regain control. Brandon Saad goes wide. Saad driving in behind. Now a rep run. It just rolled off the end of his blade. Taletti with a shot. Ward, the save rebound, came right back to him. He tried to cover, and he did. The whistle had gone. We can hear it up here. The whistle went before Saad poked that into the goal. And this is going to remain a scoreless game. Still early and scoreless in Carolina.
Another strong shift for the Andrew Shaw, Joakim Nordstrom, Brandon Saad line. Great stop there from Cam Ward, and then the shot from Nick Leddy. Look at that net front presence. And there, as Pat mentioned before we went to commercial break, talking about the whistle being blown.
The guy who blew the whistle was Kelly Sutherland. You're looking at Justin St. Pierre. Those are the two refs. Brian Murphy and Derek Nansen are the linesmen this evening. Yeah, but I think you could probably hear on that replay the whistle had gone clearly before Saad was able to jam it in. We're still scoreless. Kane with a long one, a redirect, and a save rebound. Hacked by Bickle. It deflected up and out of play.
Yeah, that was the stick of Jordan Staal, and he actually broke the stick of Jordan Staal right there. And a good job there by the former Pittsburgh Penguins center iceman getting out in the shooting lane. Didn't look like he wanted to get the body in the lane there, Pat. He just put his stick there, and fortunately for Staal, broke his stick.
Are we calling that a flamingo? Here's Gerby going wide. Little 5'5" Nathan Gerby's had a real nice start to the season. He's got a point in every game but one for Carolina. Now back come the Hawks. Taves turns deep. Jonathan Taves rolled it back to Seabrook along Clipper. Kicked away Ward. Right to Keith for the blast. And Ward on the short side got the right pad there.
Love the presence of mind of the Hawks right now. As anytime there's a lane there, Pat, everybody's shooting the puck. But again, the guys without the puck have to do a better job of getting to that area. It's going to be no icing.
Oh, no icing. There's a hustle by Taves. But he lost control of it, and now back come the Kane. Semin. Patrick Kane back there defensively. Now it's dug loose. Staal tried to center. Picked off Crawford. He holds.
Well, as a reminder, all Blackhawks home games for the 2013-14 season will begin no later than 7 p.m. Visit ChicagoBlackhawks.com for ticket information. Two great games coming up at the United Center. Hawks and Blues Thursday night. One of those great 7 o'clock starts, and it's Saturday night. An original 6 battle. The Toronto Maple Leafs come to the United Center.
What time?
One of those great 6 o'clock starts.
Yeah, make note of that because of Hockey Night in Canada. That's a 6 o'clock beginning here on Saturday. Here's Handzus now. A long bank pass. The race is on. Sharp's going to get there. Sharp in. He scores! Michael Handzus just throwing the length of the ice into some open ice. Patrick Sharp outraced everybody. And a goal for his new daughter, Sadie. Woo-hoo! 1-0.
Well, the first goal on the season, and Patrick Sharp makes no doubt about this one here, Pat. Watch what he does. He goes from his backhand to his forehand and all in one motion with a rolling puck. He puts it up and over the glove of Cam Ward. Pat, this was the second time in this period that Sharpie blew the zone, meaning he left the zone before the puck was on its way out. The first time he wasn't able to get it. I think it was Belmore intercepted the puck at the red line. He kept it in, but this one here, Sharpie is able to get into that open ice, and again, handling a rolling puck. Scores his first of the year.
So the 200th career goal for Patrick Sharp in his 601st NHL game. And the Blackhawks have the lead. And now a penalty as Oduya was battling in the corner, and it got a little aggressive. Eric Staal was tangling with Oduya. And a penalty to be called here by referee St. Pierre.
Oh, it's going to be on Eric Staal.
12, minor for holding.
Yeah, right there, the reach in with the left hand, the free hand by Eric Staal. An opportunity for the Hawks here, Pat, on the power play.
Well, the Blackhawks power play is 5 out of 20 so far this year. There's been only one game where the Hawks have not scored a power play goal so far. Faceoff comes to the boards. Sharp kept it into Taves. Sekera has some trouble. Came loose in front. Oh, Bickle denied. It might have been goalpost as well after Ward seemed to get a piece of a point flanker from Bickle. This is going to be held in by Sharp. Oh, it bounced loose. Bickle put it in deep. Kane there. Patrick Kane rolled it back to Sharp. Now Kane. Bickle to the front of the net. Taves has got it. And he had it knocked away to center. Ryan Bickle. Back to Patrick Sharp across to Duncan Keith. And some pressure forced it back out of the zone.
Good play there from Erie Toulouse.
Once we're changing on that dump in, so no chance to retrieve this one. It's under a minute of power play time. As Leddy and Seabrook will have Saad, Shaw, and Hossa in front. That rush got jammed up at the blue line. Here's a dump in by Saad. In the corner, Hainsey looking to eat a little clock. Hossa trying to pry a free.
Somebody else got to get in there, Pat. 2 against 3, 2 against 2.
Now a steal. In behind Saad. Rolled it back to Seabrook. A long shot. Tip. The redirect went up high. From Shaw. Saad's got it. Back to the line and Seabrook. Leddy, a flipper, is blocked out in front by Bellemore. His stick tied up, couldn't clear it. Hawks keep it in. Here's the backhand. They score! Oh, what a play! As the puck should have been cleared by Bellemore, and they didn't get it out. And Marian Hossa has scored his first goal of the year with a goalie in the net. His second overall. It's 2-0.
Boy, what a quick backhander. Looked like Carolina was going to be able to clear the puck at the end of this power play. Right here, it's blocked, but the quick stick of who? Andrew Shaw right there keeps the play alive, and then Marian Hossa skate right, shoot left, off the post, beats Cam Ward. But the quick hands, Pat, of Andrew Shaw does not allow Bellemore to clear that puck all the way down.
I believe Kirk Muller has utilized his timeout here. So the Hawks have outshot the Canes 8-2 in the first 10 minutes of this game and have scored twice. And so Carolina trying to circle the wagons, and their head coach trying to deliver a message to get the troops going.
Again, the block shot, the good play by Andrew Shaw. The play continues to stay alive, and Cam Ward does not see that. He's screened by Ron Hainsey. But again, Marian Hossa moving to his right, shoots back to the left. You're just shoveling the puck to the net. You're trying to create and generate a second chance opportunity. But the quick release of Big Hoss, and the Hawks answer right back, Pat, after that goal by Patrick Sharp.
But Eddie, we mentioned this at the time, and you pointed it out. There's virtually no way that puck doesn't get out. I mean, Bellemore's got it.
Right.
And Andrew Shaw, I don't know whether he's going to get an assist. He probably won't.
Right.
But, I mean, without his great hands, there's no play.
3 shifts, Pat, for Andrew Shaw. And if I was rating on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the highest, he'd have a 5 every shift.
Yeah.
He's been all over the place with only 3 shifts in this game to this point.
And good news, we get the scoring on that play. Hossa gets the goal from Saad and Shaw. So rightfully, Andrew Shaw gets a helper at 10-18. And the Hawks are up by a pair. Now a turnover to Semin. Weaves to the middle. His shot deflected up high.
Terrible giveaway there by Marcus Kruger.
Now it came back in front. Crawford made a save. Puck held in by the Canes. Back of the goal, Tuomo Ruutu. Rolled it over to the other side. Ryan Murphy knocked down by Bolig. And the Hawks get it out. This will go far enough for icing.
Kruger had the puck, Pat, probably about 5 feet from the blue line. He tried to make a no-look forehand pass back to the defenseman and went right off the skate of Alexander Semin. know what you're trying to do. You're trying to play a puck control type of game, but in that situation, it's okay to just chip the puck into the middle of the ice and start over. Crawford had to make a good save there, too, off the shot.
Yes. Yeah. Now, good shot blocked by Smith. Long flip attempt from Sekera. And Smith hacked it in. Well, it's changing on the move here, and well, the Canes begin up the ice. Sekera cleared it ahead. It bounced off a stick up over the glass, out of play. 8.5 to go in the opening period. The Blackhawks have Patrick Sharp's first goal of the year, the 200th of his career. Marian Hossa's second of the year, his first with a goalie actually in the net. Welcome back to Carolina, and on Sunday at 5:46 in the afternoon in Chicago, that little lady arrived. Sadie Ellen Sharp was born. She came in at 6 pounds 3 ounces. Her mom Abby and her big sister Madeline are doing well, and there is the newest lovely addition to the Sharp family. I love what her dad said. Both those girls must have been hockey fans. They showed up on days off. I didn't have to miss any games. He didn't even have to miss the team charter here to Carolina yesterday. So certainly great to see him and see that everything has turned out so well. And his eyes were awfully wide today, weren't they? I mean, you've been through that as a parent welcoming a new child, and I can't imagine, but it's got to be pretty special.
Yeah, it's nothing better. Hopefully Sharpie grabbed the puck, and then Sadie's got the teeth coming in. Maybe something to kind of, a little teether.
Yeah.
First goal when you were welcome into this world.
But now we got to get Crawford to get a shot out, so that's the game winner. The same as when Madeline showed up. Remember that? The next game he played, he got the winner in overtime.
Good stop there from Corey Crawford. Good shot from Andre Sekera, the former Buffalo Sabre, and Yuri Toulouse standing right in front of Corey Crawford. No second chance opportunity.
Here's a draw. Quick shot attempt was well wide. Harrison kept it in. Comes loose to Hossa. He got hit along the boards by Ruutu, who he then pulled down, got away with it. And the Hawks now start out. Hossa goes rink wide. Sharp bounces to Oduya, who tried to center it back. That one picked off, though. And Eric Stahl trying to throw that to open ice. That was jammed up, but Ruutu carried on. Dropped it to Harrison, a long shot well off the mark. Held in by Murphy. Now Harrison, his long one, never got to the net. Nice block by Hjalmarsson.
Heck of an idea there from Johnny Oduya. Trying to get that puck to Patrick Sharp, going hard to the net. He gets that puck through, Pat. He's got a wide open net.
Michael Roosevelt entering the game tonight had been on the ice for 31 minutes in his first 2 outings. He had an assist, was an even defenseman. As Nordstrom goes wide, tried a shot that was blocked. Jammed loose to Leddy. Hainsey turned it over to Saad, and then it bounced over to Leddy. Nordstrom unable to get it away from Delmore, and then a long shot and a save by Ward. Rebound. He made a second stop. And now the rebound to Shaw. He couldn't get rid of it. And this third line for the Hawks has just been brilliant so far in the game, and the Canes hemmed in their own zone again as Nordstrom works in the corner. Now Saad battling in behind. It's jammed loose to Delmore. And finally they're able to clear it to center ice. Back comes Brandon Saad. And he'll be able to keep control while a complete change is made, and the Hawks have possession the entire time. It's loose to Kruger. Marcus Kruger checked by Sutter, but Kruger held the puck. Battles his way in behind. Now got help from Smith. He comes around to Hjalmarsson. Bolig to the other side. Tapped it back. Oduya's long shot hit some traffic in front. And now the Canes Murphy. Able to just clear it to center. Sutter checked. The Canes change here, and Smith will drop it back. That's an offside play as Bickle was in just before the puck. So the whistle sounds. It has been a tremendous opening 15 minutes for the Blackhawks. They lead by 2. It could be more, but Ward beat Nordstrom, and then he beat Shaw point blank.
Well, time now for our EA Sports NHL 14-player spotlight, and former 2001 Blackhawk draft pick. Been that long already, partner, huh? 2001 for the man known as Rudy, Tuomo Ruutu. Remember the Carolina Hurricanes?
And the Hawks, a terrific deal, turned him into Andrew Ladd. And of course, was a prime mover and shaker in the 2010 championship. Here's a chance for Toews. Checked as he was ready to shoot. It just sort of flubbed off the end of his stick.
Yeah, Andrew Ladd, a 2-time Stanley Cup winner.
Yes.
Once with the Hawks and once with these same Carolina Hurricanes. We'll be seeing Andrew Ladd pretty soon when we head to
Winnipeg.
About 10 days from now, we'll be in Winnipeg. One of my many old stomping grounds, partner.
I can't wait to see the old Czech parade. Here's Bickle. He's bouncing on him. Now Toews. He couldn't settle it down either. Kane takes over. That's Rick Kane. In behind for Jonathan Toews. He got checked, but got the puck back center. Kane, he couldn't get the puck through traffic. And a dominant shift here so far for the Toews line. Bowman for the Canes, able to clear it. Gerby will dump it in. They need to get off. Boy, how much of this first 16 minutes that he's been played in this zone to our right? I mean, the Hawks have been terrific for the most part.
They've had the puck and they've had support all over the ice. That's been the biggest key. Not a lot of one-on-one play.
Sharp with a drive into the glove of Ward, who's able to snatch a hard blast.
Well, tomorrow it's preseason basketball as Derrick Rose and the Bulls take on the Detroit Pistons. Coverage begins at 6:30 with Sportsnet Central. Don't miss Bulls, Pistons. You got Neil, you got Stacy, you got Stacy, you got Neil. Tomorrow night at 7. Only on your home for Bulls basketball, Comcast Sportsnet.
Oh, a corner battle. It bounced to Sharp. Is picked off by Ruutu. And Murphy had it stripped away by Hossa. By the way, Eddie, we were wondering on the air about Hossa and the back-to-back set of games. The first time he's had to deal with that scheduling circumstance after the back trouble that he was having in the preseason and whatnot. There's an icing call, but talking to him yesterday, he just said he felt terrific after that back-to-back set of games. Meanwhile, the Carolina team really has had a tough time putting the puck in the net, and down 2 goals here early. That does not bode well for Kirk Muller's team, but in most of their games, they've scored 2 goals or less. One game, they scored 1 goal. In 3 games, they've scored 2 goals, and they've scored 3 only 2 times in their first 6 starts, so... and never any more than that. So they're really up against it, against this Chicago team here tonight. Nordstrom whiffed on it, and Skinner comes out.
I think a lot of situations, too, Pat, for the Hawks on the other side. The Hawks' inability to be able to get that, that third goal when they've had a couple of 2-0 leads so far in some of the games that they've played.
Hainsey was looking for a tip, didn't get it. Elmore couldn't get that through, and now it's taken by Rosabal. Hainsey for the Canes.
The guys who he zeroed in on in the open half for Carolina. And Eric Stahl and Alexander Semin. I mean, Semin had the real good chance off the Kruger turnover, but other than that, I mean, Stahl took the bad penalty, the holding penalty. They've been pretty quiet, but they've been defending the whole time, to your point originally. I mean, the Hawks have had the puck. I mean, it's been down here. The puck's been down in the Carolina zone. Played almost 19 minutes. Got to say, probably 13 minutes.
Keith with a nice move, got a long shot through. Good save, Ward. Held in Seabrook to Keith. Back to Seabrook, who tries a long one. Ward stopped it, it's loose. Trying to dig it out, Bowling. It came free right to the blue paint, big scramble, and the whistle has gone, and look at those bodies, 8. You could put a blanket over 8 bodies there.
Well, a heavy shot by Duncan Keith initially, and then he does a great job of moving the puck to Brent Seabrook right here. And just concentrate on the front of the net. Look where he is again, Pat. Look where Cam Ward is, out on top of the net. I love that the Blackhawks all go to the front of the net, but it'd be nice if somebody maybe goes off to the side, gets lost in traffic there. Boy, that puck just hit the right skate of Ben Smith or Brandon Bullock at a wide open net. So again, something you can go to school on. Ward being so aggressive out on top of the blue paint. Because all you got to do it is once, Pat. All you got to do is shoot off the net one time.
Here's a spinorama by Kane, but a better save by Ward. Patrick Kane, an electrifying attempt. Now he makes a steal, but it jumped away from him. And we get down to the final minute of the first period. 1 minute. So the Hawks up 2. Kane cleared it ahead. Bickle gets in, rings it around for Taves. Kane wanted Bickle, but the pass went off the skates. Now held in by Seabrook. His shot blocked. And the Hurricanes able to get away. Eric Stahl pulls up. Seabrook in the way of that shot attempt. Stahl dropped it back. Hainsey goes across, a long shot. Tip went wide on the redirect. And Skinner had it knocked away. He's able to clear the zone. As the clock winds down, approaching the end of the first period. And that will now happen. A brilliant start to this road game for the Hawks, who outshoot the Canes 15-5.
And the last shot of that period, Pat, you called it, the spinorama by Patrick Kane, looking a lot like our buddy Jack, Denny Savard. Beautiful move, great save from Ward. Hawks with a lot of jump, Pat, but still a lot of work to go. Only up by 2.
Well, the Blackhawks with an outstanding opening 20. They lost their first road game of the year in St. Louis. Patrick Sharp scored his 200th goal to get the Hawks off and rolling. Then Marian Hossa on a power play extended the lead at the end of 1.
Blackhawks hockey on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by Hyundai. Your Hyundai dealer invites you to come test drive the 2013 Sonata at the event. Visit myhyundaichicago.com. BMO Harris Bank. Get the official BMO Harris Blackhawks debit MasterCard at bmoharris.com/fancard. Ford. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. Corona Extra, who invites you to find your beach. And by Kia. Visit mykiachicago.com to learn why Kia is one of the fastest growing car brands in America.
Well, Blackhawk fans, remember to bring your Blue Cross and Blue Shield card to all Blackhawk home games for a chance to be a part of the Blue Cross upgrade experience. Carry the card that gives you benefits wherever you are. Blue Cross, through it all.
We welcome you back to Carolina after a dominant first period for the Hawks. John Masson is a native of Northwest Indiana, and he was a member of the 20th Special Forces Group when members of the Blackhawks met him at Walter Reed Army Medical Center in Washington on March 10th of 2011, right after they won the Cup. A lifelong Blackhawks fan, John lost both legs and his left arm to a roadside bomb while touring in Afghanistan. He is a recipient of the Purple Heart. and 2 Bronze Stars for his service. He was previously honored on ice at the UC during the national anthem in 2011. John currently resides in Fayetteville, North Carolina with his wife, Dustina, his sons, Jonathan and Ethan, and his daughter, Morgan. He is involved with the USA Warriors. And there he is. There's our boy, John Masson. He is all decked out in his Indian head sweater. He's got his family here, and I know when the Blackhawks met him at Walter Reed after winning the Cup, he couldn't have been more vocal about his love for the franchise, his enthusiasm about the fact they had just won the Stanley Cup. So great to have him here in Carolina watching his favorite team play hockey, and I'm sure he's thrilled by what he's seen so far, and it's wonderful to see him here. All right, underway now in the second period.
And the second period of Blackhawks hockey is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places.
Jordan Staal ringing it around. Here's a long shot. Crawford made a good save. That was a late move with his left pad to stop it. On a long flip shot from Sekera. Bouncing now side of the net. Gerby came up with it, trying to slip it in front. Picked off Taves. He bounced it up the boards and fouled up to get it out. Gerby for Carolina. Swings it around. Now Jordan Staal didn't connect on a pass attempt. Back goes Hjalmarsson. He's going to be icing Chicago.
Well, I have to imagine that there was a little bit of paint coming off the walls in the Carolina locker room, Pat. Not a very good first period. All Blackhawks outnumbering, outmanning Carolina Hurricanes in their own end.
Outworking. And, you know, as we saw, if you were with us earlier, after the Hawks scored their first goal, good save by Crawford after a face-off win for the Canes. But Kirk Muller called timeout, trying to allow his troops to catch their breath and try to get them going, and it didn't seem to help. They were no better after the timeout than they were before. Semin, his pass to Fleck. Out comes Hjalmarsson, looking to Hossa. Going to pass it to himself off the board. He tapped it in deep. Didn't quite reach Sharp. And Eric Staal, the Carolina captain, turned it over. Hossa ran back into Staal, though. And Ruutu now able to clear it to center. Eric Staal put it to Murphy. Left it for Staal. The shot and a save by Crawford. Gave the rebound right to the middle, but good coverage by the Hawks. And now Sharp on the counterattack. Hossa's up with him. Oduya wants it. He's got it. Down to Sharp. Stop attempt. And Ward got a piece. Canes get it back in. Ruutu he waited so long. His shot was blocked. Came loose to Roosevelt. Bounce it out for Nordstrom. Cleared it in, kick to the stick, Shaw. He centered it, and Nordstrom couldn't get any wood on it. Here's Shaw, his shot attempt off a skate. Roosevelt's up in the play, and now the goal knocked off the moorings. And Nordstrom getting some attention from Belmore, who is their leading hitter. Brett Belmore had 19 hits coming into the game and wants to be a physical presence. Didn't like the fact the Hawk forward was in the blue paint.
Time now for Arkia. Drives to the net and some high-quality chances back in that first period. Great pass from Kane to Keith. And then here's Keith to Seabrook and net front presence. And then Patrick Sharp. Backhand, forehand, top shelf. And then Marian Hossa skate right, shoot left, off the backhand. A lot of positive things for the Hawks in that opening frame.
Harrison got checked, but the Canes able to get out. Ryan Murphy looking to carry. Cleared it ahead. The return pass out of his reach, and Crawford will take a whistle.
A little bit of a different look for Carolina here to start this second period. A little bit more jump, a little bit more crispness in their passing. You talked about the bad game that they played against Phoenix a couple of days ago, Pat, here in Carolina on Sunday, losing to to Phoenix 5-3. They've come out here and had a couple of decent chances.
Would you say that this 2.5 minutes to start the second have been their best 2.5 minutes of the night?
Best stretch.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Face-off win by Sutter. Now a long shot soaked up Crawford and gonna hang on to it.
I guess if you're looking at it with the ice, Pat, in the first period, the Hawks were attacking this end.
Yes.
And now Carolina's coming this way. And I felt like this probably for 16 years of my career where the ice was, I was skating uphill for 16 years. Maybe it's slanted. It's tilted down here. Like a pinball machine, right? Everything. Let's try to get this thing worked out here. Get a little more action down in front of Cam Ward.
Yeah. But you push enough right buttons to get 800 points. Don't worry about it. Sutter couldn't pry it off the boards. Now Roosevelt knocked down by Brett Sutter. Puck came loose, and now Roosevelt pulled Sutter down. He's going to get a penalty, and the Canes will get their first power play. And that's one of those hits you got to just eat and try to get him back later. But when you get crushed like that, you know the referees are looking. And Roosevelt grabbed him.
Well, you see the name Sutter on the back. Brett Sutter, the son of former Blackhawk captain, now current head coach of the LA Kings, Daryl Sutter. A finished hit, and Roosevelt with a retaliatory penalty. And an opportunity for Carolina, who has had a good start to this first period.
The Hurricanes have scored a power play goal in 3 straight games. Sekera got it off the draw. Stahl shot stopped. Rebound route to a diving Crawford poked it free. And time to take a look for Handzus. The Canes have, as I said, scored 3 games in a row in their power play. They're 3 out of 19 over that stretch. The Hawks have killed off 5 in a row in their last 2 games. That was after an awful start to the season in their first 3 games on the PK. Semin got taken down here. Puck at the line. Sekera couldn't find a lane. Now a pass in front, bounced away, and Bowman couldn't settle it down. Handzus bats it loose. Here's Kruger hustling. And he was impeded by Sekera, who prevented a breakaway chance. Back comes Semin and drive. Oh, he got all of it. Just missed the near post. Rebound hacked loose and out. And are there too many men? The Canes in the midst of a change. And it looks as if they're going to get tagged for a bad change.
Carolina penalty. Bench minor. Too many men on the ice.
Now we're going to go back to a play in our Xfinity Telestrator. And for all you young hockey players out there, here's Eric Stahl. He's going to end up taking the shot. But after he takes the shot, he stays out. He doesn't go and follow up this rebound. Watch, the shot comes, the puck is there. Look where Stahl is. He stays. I mean, you take that shot there, you got to follow up. You're on a power play. You got to find your way to the front of the net and create a second or third chance. You might have shot it. You might get your own rebound. But just standing there watching is not good enough. And we talked about Stahl struggling. That's one of the reasons there, Pat. Just too much standing still. Now, in fairness to Eric Stahl, coming back from knee injury.
For a side here, Ward's going to take a whistle. But, you know, what you said right at the start of our game, I mean, guys like Semin and Eric Stahl have got to produce for this team to have a good chance to get a win.
Yeah, and Stahl had, Semin, Pat, has had 2 good chances. Remember the Kruger giveaway in the first, and then that last one you called out. I mean, he can really let it go, Alexander Semin.
Face-off win Saad, and now Murphy takes over for the Canes. Cleared into the Hawks' zone. Skinner was well covered, and Oduya had a blowout now. Going to be picked off by the Canes. Bowman dropped it back. Murphy sends it across. Harrison in front. Skinner. Good shot block, Oduya. And now held in Murphy. Oh, and his pass went out of the zone. The Hawks side had lost his stick. They really had a 4-on-3 there and didn't make anything happen. Back comes Murphy into the zone. Lost it to Saad. And Saad ahead for Patrick Kane, looking to speed inside to the net. So Kane, and a poke check by Ward prevented an attempt. And it's cleared the other way. The Chicago penalty over. Now the Hawks with a minute-long power play. Duncan Keith to Jonathan Toews. Sharp wants Toews in the corner. Back to Sharp. Now a Toews pass picked off. The race on the counterattack. Bowman gets in, trying to dance Keith. That didn't work out at all. And a 2-on-1 the other way. Kane's got it with Bickle. Kane to the net. Put it in front. And it was kind of a tweener right between Keith and Toews. Back to Kane, whose pass was picked off. And deflects out to center.
A little too cute there a couple of times, Pat. Wait, one too many passes.
And that puck went out of the zone. So the offside whistle sounds.
Well, Patrick Kane at the end of that 4-on-4, Pat, goes hard to the net. Good job there from Jordan Staal. Once you take that puck to the net, you're going to draw somebody to you. And there you see Patrick Kane looking at the official, maybe looking for a little bit of a hook. But on that last sequence, Pat, a couple of times on that power play, just way too fancy. Opportunity to shoot the puck, trying to make that extra pass. We've only got one shot on goal in this period. We're under 5 minutes in. You got to know that you got to just get that puck to the net.
So you're saying that they weren't listening to our Geico quote at the start of the game from Joel Quenneville?
Well, I know the first period they did.
Oh, they did.
No doubt about that.
Yeah.
Especially getting to the front of it. I thought the third line was the key to that first period for Coach Q. I mean, that Saad, Shaw, Nordstrom line. We've been just talking to the local TV guys here with Carolina, Trip Tracy and Johnny Forsland. I mean, they were saying the third line was, they were the difference in that period. They were kind of one that set the tone for the Hawks in that first period. And I think we completely agreed with the way that they played, especially the first 3-4 shifts.
Here comes Shaw to Saad. He danced a check, walks in, shoots it, a big save by Ward. Oh, Murphy got undressed in his own end, but Ward bailed him out. Back comes Skinner for the Canes. That pass deflected out. Now the Canes, Murphy. Give it to Harrison. Dwyer will try a long one into the glove of Crawford, who decides to play it to Kruger. Leddy under pressure on the boards. Sutter had to deliver a blow, but the play continues, and back goes Belmore. And it's cleared by Dvorak. Cleared it into the zone and shot attempt to flex upstairs. Back to Radek Dvorak, who couldn't get that one through bowling.
Good help there from Kruger on the back check there, Pat. Puck took a funny bounce, as you mentioned. It was going right to the front of the net. Kruger was right there in a good defensive spot.
Here comes Toews. Works his way, and Kane wants it. He's got it. Stripped of it, just the puck around. Good play, good stick from Jordan Staal. Back they come. Gerby drives in for Staal. The shot smothered and poked away. Good play by Duncan Keith. He broke up the play from a prone position, knocked it away from Jordan Staal. Now Falk along one. Crawford had a good look at that. It bounced high into the air. Comes down to Toews, who got it out. Kane stripped away. It'll roll to Crawford, who wants to stop the play. Well, the last shift on the front of his jerseys, hello. On the back of his jerseys, goodbye. Saad was right in.
And from our Xfinity telestrator, first off, look at the stick of Brent Seabrook. He does a great job here of denying the possible pass here. But keep an eye on here on Duncan Keith. Never too late to come back. And for all you young hockey players there, look at the effort by Keith. Come back, stop in the middle of the ice, prevent an opportunity for Jordan Staal. But just that initial stick by Seabrook, Pat, put a doubt in the mind of Nathan Gerbe to maybe try to get that puck all the way wide. There's nothing worse for a defender on a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-1 is when that puck is moved right away.
Turnover and a shot. Oh, good stick there by Oduya. He just bailed out Handzus, who coughed it up along the boards. And Crawford avoided a headache there.
It's a lot like the play that Marcus Kruger, Pat, made. Now, give Carolina a little bit of credit. The back-checking play right there by Tuomo Ruutu forced that turnover. But again, it's that blind spot. Michael Handzus turning, has his back to the middle of the ice, hoping to get the puck all the way over there.
Here's a long shot. Hits some traffic out in front. And now Ruutu, a stop attempt downstairs. Crawford will hang on to it.
Oh, what a battle there from Corey Crawford. Down and out. Eric Staal with a good effort there, and Tuomo Ruutu not able to elevate the puck because a great stick there from Johnny Oduya.
Two to nothing in favor of the Hawks as we get near the middle part of period 2. Bouncing puck, and the Canes able to keep it in. Chalmerson knocked away from Hainsey out of the zone. Now Murphy for Carolina. Hainsey couldn't get that very deep. Now it bounced over to the other side. Skinner in behind. Dwyer. That's big Dwyer. Now penalty's going to be called here as he was hooked, I think, from behind, and that's going to be the whistle, and Oduya is going to have a seat.
Well, Johnny Oduya not happy with the call from
Chicago penalty, number 27.
Kelly
2
Sutherland.
minutes for hooking.
And Coach Q not happy as well behind the play.
I can name that tune in one note.
Well, there you saw the penalty, Pat. You saw the one hand on the stick, almost kind of the can opener type where he got the hand around the waist and the arms, and power play coming.
Now here's a shot that's blocked almost inadvertently by Seabrook. Eric Staal threw it towards the middle, but 2 Hawk sticks were there, and Kruger, as he dove, managed to get it out. Canes will dump it. Seabrook rings it around. Semin held it in. Goes back to Sekera at the line. He's got a problem with a rolling puck. Trying to keep it in. Bowman then did. Ruutu out of the corner. Stripped by Seabrook. And he cleared it out. Staal, the Carolina captain, will leave it for Andre Sekera. Staal, and a pass it to himself. Chalmerson's seen that once or twice. Got to bring something better than that. Half a minute of power play time here for the Canes. Jordan Staal, he stripped of it at the line. Good stick, Roosevelt. Murphy carries on. Gerbe up the boards. Dropped it back. Here's Falk with a long blast tip. Oh, and a redirect punch just wide. Roosevelt couldn't get it out. Good keep at the line. Now Sekera's long blast. That went off a stick to Chalmerson, who put it up the board. Held in. Here's a long shot. That's blocked by Chalmerson. Taken back by Skinner. The Hawk penalty over Skinner. Well, the backhander up high, and it winds up out of play. So the penalty has expired. A good kill by the Hawks, who remain in front by a pair.
Well, tonight it's the premiere of the highly anticipated Comcast Sportsnet documentary, 5 Outs, the story of the 2013 Cubs. 2003 Cubs, I'm sorry. Hear how the team captivated the second city and just got 5 outs away from the World Series, featuring never-before-heard interviews from Chicago sports and media legends. Don't miss 5 outs, presented by Lexus, tonight on Comcast Sportsnet. MLB blackout restrictions apply. Program may not be available in your area.
Patrick Kane out of the zone. Now Keith let it jump loose. Now Kane, Sekera moves in, fires along. That puck was on edge. He had a knuckler that went up high. And tossed back for the Hurricanes. It's taken away by Kane. Patrick Kane moves in, looks to center, tipped away from Toews. Now a turn. Oh, Bickell could have had a turnover, but didn't make the interception.
If they don't want it, I'll take it. Sekera didn't want it. Bickell was surprised by it. As long as I can bring that old Titan with me out there, Pat. The old
wood is good. I know you'll love it. Here's Seven, a long one. He can really shoot it, which he's shown us tonight. Crawford blocked that one up and out of play.
He's got a little bit more jump in his step here in the second period, Pat, than in the first. And I'm kind of surprised that Kirk Muller hasn't changed up his lines at all a little bit. I mean, Simmons to me has had some jump. The puck's found him, I should say. The puck has found him. And to me, it looks like Eric Stahl's just fighting it right now. And they do have, on the left side anyways, they put Drayson Bowman up there right now where it was Tuomo Ruutu.
Yeah.
Had been out there, a couple of long shifts for Ruutu because he was out there on the power play as well, Pat.
And now he jumps over the boards.
So really
catching it. So anyway, I was thinking the exact same thing. Now I'm worried about you if you're thinking like me. But we watch Joe Quenneville so much and have for years here. And if a Blackhawks game was going the way this one's going for the Hurricanes, there would have been some juggling happening well before now. But hey, that's okay. It doesn't mean he's got the only way to do it. Sure. But it certainly has been successful for him here in Chicago. And I think it would be safe to say that at this point in the game, more coaches than not around the NHL, a higher percentage than not of the 30 NHL coaches would have started doing some tinkering.
Yeah, and all it takes really, Pat, is one guy moving in and out on a line. I mean, you don't have to change all the lines, or maybe there's a line that you like or a combination of guys that you think have some good jump in your step. I mean, look, they played a good second period to this point. Could it get any worse than the first or after the first? No, probably not. But if you just move one guy in or out, and you mentioned, exactly, Coach Q. I mean, he'll move a winger in, a center in. He's not afraid to go and just look for any kind of a combination to get a jump. And I think the one thing it does too, Pat, and speaking from experience of standing behind the bench at this level, it gets the attention of your players pretty darn quick. I mean, you can yell at a player, you can show them, you can tell them, you can do everything, but the one thing that hurts the most is when that door doesn't open up and your number's called. I mean, you want to get their attention? That's the way to get their attention, because nothing hurts more than a lack of ice time.
I mean, it's really the only hammer that an NHL coach has anymore. You can't send guys down. The only currency that a coach owns is ice time. And now the Canes with 6.5 left in the second. Get a little offense generated, but Dwyer couldn't pick it up. It's taken by the Canes with a steal, but a pass broken up by Roosevelt, and then Saad will start up the ice. Brandon Saad, a mishandle. And now Murphy. Moving it over to the other side. Bowman couldn't get it beyond Oduya. A long shot attempt is off a skate to Smith. And Smith, who has a goal and an assist in his last 2 games. This one, though, broken up, and the Hurricane Sutter chipped it forward. Taken by Oduya. Kruger kicks to the stick. Unable to advance it, though. Hjalmarsson locked up with Jordan Staal, who won the puck, but his pass off the skate of Kruger, who was in fine position. And it's cleared out of the zone.
Good battle there from Bollig to win that stick battle, just to chip the puck out. Long shift here, Pat, from Hjalmarsson and Oduya right now. Keep an eye on this.
Falk keeps it in for the Canes. Derby around for Jordan Staal. Back to Justin Falk. He goes to the other side. Sekera held it in. A shot attempt from Dvorak didn't get through. And the Canes able to keep it in. Now Oduya's got it. A long clipper goes out. Hjalmarsson was trying to get to offer a change, and the puck found him. But now the Canes are changing, so this deep pair will be able to get off, as Eddie pointed out. He went out there for well over a minute, so able to make the change here. And by the way, to Eddie's point about a much better second frame for the home team, in this period, centering pass broken up away from Semin. In this period, the Hawks have had 2 shots, and the Canes have had 11. So a much better effort for the home side here in the second period, but they're still down 2-0 with 4 left in the second. Welcome back as we take a look at our Illinois Lottery Anything's Possible stat. How about that? In the 68-69 season, Dennis and Bobby Hull became the first set of brothers to each score 30 goals or more in the same NHL season. There are the Staal brothers here in Carolina. They're going to have to get going if they're going to match that. Eric has 2 goals. Jordan hasn't scored yet in the early going. And I wonder if there's something in the water in Thunder Bay. Those are Thunder Bay, Ontario natives, as is Patrick Sharp. And as you saw the shots of the brothers, they've each got a letter on their sweater, and Patrick Sharp's got an A on his sweater. So kudos to all of them. As Sharp is a couple years older than Eric Staal, who's the oldest Staal brother. So he never actually was able to play with him, but he does work out with him at times in the summer and skates with him a little bit. So really had nice things to say about both of the brothers. He is buddies with them, and of course Thunder Bay can't be that big, so if they're all playing in the NHL, they must have crossed paths more than a little bit.
Yeah, don't forget Mark Staal too, Pat, in New York with the Rangers. Great defenseman.
And he's got a letter on, doesn't he?
Yeah. You know, you're talking about Sharpie and playing in the All-Star game here. He was the MVP, and that's when you had the captains with the draft, right? And Eric Staal took Patrick Sharp, being the taking care of the guys in the neighborhood. Yeah. And
Sharp, this pass just missed Hossa, and it'll be icing.
Thursday, October 17th, when the Hawks take on the St. Louis Blues, be one of the first 10,000 fans to enter the United Center. Receive a Blackhawks travel mug presented by Eon Clinics. Go to ChicagoBlackhawks.com for tickets.
Zeus wins the defensive zone draw.
Pat, the one thing that the Hawks aren't doing in the first period that they haven't done here in the second, they did really well in the first, was they were jumping the holes. And they were finding the open ice, the player without the puck. How often do we talk about it? The guy without the puck is probably more important than the guy with it.
Here's a loose puck off of Ward, and the rebound wound up in the corner. Now at the side of the net, a centering pass for Saad. And a shot hit a leg. He was close in, but Saad couldn't get it through to the goal. And Semin settles it down for the Hurricanes. And Canes had to peel back. Would have been offside had they touched the puck. That's why he turned away. Then Shaw will dump it into Carolina ice. Pass is picked up by Dwyer. Rick Dwyer with a wraparound, couldn't get it all the way around the post. to Belmore, who put it in behind. A pass broken up with a good stick from Crawford. And it winds up in the neutral area. Finally picked up by the Canes, and Skinner unable to advance it. Bolig up the left side. Brandon Bolig tried to center, knocked away from Smith. And now the Hurricanes, Hainsey able to send it out. Both teams changing on this dump in. Oduya coming out. Bickle working the boards. His pass went off a skate to Toews, put it in front. Seabrook walks in and shooting. Good save by Ward, and gave no loose change. Hawks had a little presence around the net there, but Seabrook's bid was soaked up.
We talked about jumping to a hole. Well, watch Brent Seabrook. He finds that soft little spot, Pat. That's exactly what happens from our Xfinity Telestrator. Here's the shot's going to come from Joakim Nordstrom. But talking about jumping into a hole, I mean, look, this is what happens. Get to the net, opportunity for a second or third chance opportunity instead of staying to the outside. Saw a lot of that in the first period. Not enough of that here in the second.
Toews looks for Kane. He's got Bickle with him. Kane for Bickle. The shot. Good save by Ward, moving to his right. Bickle got it back, but his pass went out of the zone. Minute remaining in period 2. And that rush jammed up by Hossa. Keith the other way. Keith to Toews, tees it up, shooting, and a save by Ward. Rebound to the Hurricanes, might have a 2-on-1. Gerby with speed. He races in, fires. Good stick by Hjalmarsson at the D, and it's harmlessly out of play.
Well, once Gerby did not pass that puck to Alexander Semin, Pat, it was going to be a one-on-one, and a great stick, as you mentioned, but a little bit earlier, Brian Bickle gets a great pass from Patrick Kane, and again, Blackhawk forwards jump into a hole. And when you do that, it forces the puck carrier to get you the puck. If you want the puck, you got to move. You got to move to that area. Stick on the ice. That's what Bickle did. Great pass from Patrick Kane. And the Hawks with a little push here late in the second period.
And they've needed one because it's been a good frame for the Hurricanes. Although, you know, even there's a huge shot advantage for Carolina. What would be your number of real good scoring chances that they've had?
No, I would probably give the best chance was the Semin chance.
Here's an opportunity, but the shot attempt from Eric Stahl partially slowed. Good stick there from Sharp to get that in the shooting area. And then Crawford able to cover things up.
And that one didn't even hit, Pat. That one didn't even hit the net. The chance for Semin where he walked in and he shot it. So, well, I'd probably say 3.
2 tree?
Yeah. Well, we'll go with 3. We like that.
Right, because I mean, anyway, it's been a much better period for Carolina, make no mistake. But Hawks have been doing at least a decent job defensively and not allowing a huge number of scoring chances. That's a pretty good save by Crawford on what appeared to be a redirect from Murphy.
Face-offs, too. I mean, they were 50-50 in that first period. I'd have to say in this period, I'm going to say 70% to 30 for Carolina. I mean, they've won the majority of the face-offs. They've had a real good part of that game.
Kruger with a dozen left, mishandled it. Murphy pressured by Kruger, works hard, steals, it's loose in front, and a whack by Shaw. Now another shot off traffic. That seemed to get past Ward, and another great shift for this Hawks third line with Kruger getting things started, and then Shaw and Saad involved.
Boy, there wasn't much going on, and next thing you know, Marcus Kruger has his puck below the goal line. Great effort there. Wins the race on Murphy, and watch it save right there by Cam Ward off the side, off the chance from, again, Andrew Shaw, who has had an outstanding game here through 2 periods of play.
So the Blackhawks able to get out of the frame with no damage done. The shots in the second period were 14-8 for the Hurricanes. So after 40 minutes of play, it's 23 Chicago, 19 Carolina. But there are the numbers that count. Goals from Sharp and Hossa.
Blackhawks Blackhawks hockey on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Do you believe in the power of possibility? The Illinois Lottery. Anything's possible. And by Toyota. Elevate your style with the 2014 Toyota Corolla. Toyota, let's go places.
From the makers of the 2013 Blackhawks Stanley Cup ring, the Jostens Blackhawk Championship Fan Collection is on sale now. Make the celebration last a lifetime with keepsakes for men and women. Visit ChicagoBlackhawks.com to order your collection today. Welcome back to Carolina. The Hawks, as you see, have a 2-goal lead. Let's take a look at our BMO Harris Bank check replay. It happened in the period we just saw as Brett Sutter got a good piece of Michael Roosevelt and took him down. So that's been judged our big hit of the game up till now. We get ready for the third period. Before that starts, we get a chance to talk to Blackhawks assistant coach Mike Kitchen. And the first period, you dominated, Kitch. A little bit of a different story in the second. What sort of message do you try to deliver to get the tables turned back your way in the third?
Well, I think we really have to simplify this third period coming up here. We did the right thing in the first period. We got the pucks in behind their D. We had a lot of motion on our cycles in the offensive zone, and we put pucks at the net. We pass off the goalie, and that's how we created our offense. But what happened in the second period was we started to be too fancy. We're putting passes into the slot, turning the puck over, and you know that they're a fast-breaking team, and you can't do that. You're going to have outnumbered attacks against you.
Your third line, or whatever number you want to put on it, but Shaw, Sada, and Nordstrom has been awfully good tonight. Would you anticipate maybe them getting a little bit more ice in the third?
Yeah, that's a possibility. I mean, they had a good chance right at the end of the period there. They sent it off, and Nordstrom had one there. He had a shot about halfway through the period there. It just laid around in the crease. But I think that's the whole key. You know, that line, they keep it simple, and they just put pucks to the net, and they crash the net, and they got good depth in the offensive zone. So they got a good third man, and they got a good rotation.
Kitch, what have you seen in the first 40 minutes? Q has been talking the last day or two about greasy goals, presence at the net. Have you had enough of it?
Not enough. I mean, we got, the first period we were all right because we had a lot of motion in our cycles, but that period there, we just got away from our game. I don't know if you get that 2-0 lead. We got to get back to the basics and get pucks to the net, bad angle shots, stop and stay, and hang around the net.
All right, appreciate it. A couple minutes. Good luck here in the third.
Thanks, Pat.
That's Mike Kitchen. We always appreciate Mike Kitchen and Jamie Compound being willing to give us and you a little view from the bench. We get ready for third period action.
And this third period of Blackhawk hockey is brought to you by Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Honda dealers.
All right, here's Jonathan Toews from deep in his own end. Goes off the glass for Kane. And Falk now for the Canes. Pass broken up. Toews on the counter, steps in. Kane takes a look. Shooting. Blocker save, Ward. And the rebound to Gerby. 5'5" Nathan Gerby flipped along with it. Crawford gloved easily. Now Seabrook able to retrieve. Up goes Harrison. And then Murphy up the middle for Eric Stahl. To Cuomo, route 2. Emerson got in his way. Harrison tries a long one. That's off the mark. And Oduya needs help to clear it. Semin nearly turned that over, but now it's taken by Hanzus. Looking at center. Holst is wide in. And a save by Ward. Rebound. Bounce up into the air, and Sharp couldn't get it to settle down.
Terrific pass from Michael Hanzus right to Marian Hossa. That quick little release, trying to catch Cam Ward in between. Standing up and going down in a blocker save. That is a huge stop.
Now Leddy gets it out of there. Gonna have to turn and chase back. Got to feed Shaw his pass, but Shaw able to retrieve it. Andrew Shaw. They put it behind the goal. Taken now by Roosevelt. Shaw working Falk. Shaw jams it loose. Nordstrom spins it loose. Leddy back to Nordstrom. In front, Assad shot kicked away by the left pad of Ward.
That was a little surprised there that Nordstrom gave him that puck. Didn't get a lot on it. I think he got it in the wheelhouse, but another strong shift there for that line.
Now they work in the corner, and Brett Sutter checked by Johnny Oduya. Not able to get it out. Here comes Ben Smith. And back goes Murphy. Murphy made a nice pass. Here's Sutter in. He put it out in front. Quick shot. Good save on Bowman by Crawford. And Bolig got it back to the other end. Back comes Grayson Bowman. His long shot blocked by Seabrook, who got off on a change quickly. And Kane sends Seabrook into the zone, but Taves was ahead of the puck carrier.
Well, time now for our GMC professional grade saves. This one in particular. There, the chance for Marian Hossa off the great feed from Michael Hanzus. No hesitation. Now look at a quick release. And again, it's not necessarily how hard you shoot the puck, all you young hockey players out there, but it's the release. How quickly it can come off your stick to surprise that goaltender. Like I said, always taking that big slap shot. There's nothing we're working on those quick little wrist shots, wrist snap shots, getting it on your stick and releasing it as quick as you can.
Here's Jordan-Stahl, put it in front. Oh, he just missed his man. Held in. Tekra, a long one. Kicked away by Crawford. He sticks it out of play. Blackhawk fans, come on out to Hawthorne Racecourse this Saturday, October the 19th. You can see a good friend of mine. Mr. Olczyk will be there, and it'll be your last chance to win a VIP trip to the Breeders' Cup, courtesy of ExpressBet.com. Visit ChicagoBlackhawks.com for info.
Boy, what a
Eddie O at Hawthorne Racecourse. Is that a first? I think I know the answer.
This week, yes.
Here's Murphy's attempt, never got through.
Great contest there, Pat, to be able to get a chance to go to California and see the Breeders' Cup, the Stanley Cup of horse racing.
Is it Del Mar? Where is it?
No, it'll be at Santa Anita.
Oh, yeah, I just read that, didn't I? Okay, sorry. Ruutu put it across. Here's a blast. Good save. Crawford rebound. 7. He scores! Alexander 7 off an Eric Stahl rebound, and the Canes are on the board.
Pat, how often do we talk about players without the puck are the most important? But for all you young hockey players out there, here is the eventual, no, I'm sorry, it's not there. We're going to go over into that area. There's Alexander Semin. The puck's going to go rink wide, and then here comes Semin. Right there, he gets inside position on Johnny Oduya and puts the puck into the back of the net. Michael Hanzus, not Oduya, a step slow. And Carolina and Alexander Semin get within one.
So Semin is the forward who's had their better chances tonight, able to finish that rebound opportunity, and now the Hurricanes are in the hunt. Well, here in Carolina, they like to call their fan base the Caniacs, and they've had very little to get excited about tonight, even though they had a decent second period, but now they're a little bit more lively and feeling like their team has a pretty good chance to come back in this game.
Perfectly placed shot there by Alexander Semin. Crawford down, made a good save off of Stahl and put it upstairs.
Centering pass, just off the leg of Saad. He got it back. Penalty coming up to the Canes. Saad dropped it to Roosevelt. Out of Brandon Saad. 6 attackers for the Hawks. Goalie's out. Here's the puck downstairs. Taves dropped it to Roosevelt. Roosevelt looking for help. Now Saad to Leddy. They're on the perimeter. Now Nick Leddy. The whistle is gone. Why? Hawks had the puck the entire time. But the Canes are going to be short-handed.
Carolina 65, minor for holding.
No, it's going to be on Ron Hainsey. Right in front of the net, the interference from our Xfinity telestrator. The referee in the lower part of your screen right there makes the call, and the Hawks with a huge opportunity here.
Duncan Keith tees it up, shooting it, never got through. And Sekera managed to clear it out. Now for nothing out of 2 on their power play tonight. Have not been credited with a shot yet on the man advantage. Keith carries. Flipped it to Kane. Patrick Kane. But it's flipped away. Sharp kept it to Keith. Centered it Taves. Dropped it to Sharp. Here it comes. And a save by Ward. Rebound to the Hurricanes.
Again, Pat, Cam Ward out probably a good 8 feet from his net.
And now the Hawks get back in. Hossa tied up. Puck cleared out of the zone. Here's Leddy back in. Centered it. Hossa, big save. Ward, rebound. Oh, and he made a second stopper. At least it was stripped away from Hossa. Seabrook now to Leddy. Spins to the corner. In behind side is checked. And it's cleared the other way.
What a great pass there from Nick Leddy on that rush. And Marian Hossa's had 2 A-plus chances here in the last back-to-back shifts.
All right, here comes Ben Smith. Fighting his way into the zone. Smith with Shaw to the net. Takes a look back. Oduya, a ring around. And Smith is surrounded by red sweaters that jump loose. Now the Carolina penalty over. Both teams full strength. Here they come. Eric Stahl couldn't catch up with it. Sekera kicked it forward. And now the Hawks start from their own end. Kruger carries and sends it deep. They fight for it on the far side. The Canes able to clear it. And that's going to be an offside play as Roosevelt. That's going to be intentional offside. That's not a very good read by the veteran D-man. It'll be a defensive zone draw. An intentional offside when we come back.
I'll go back to the chance for Marian Hossa. That's a great pass there from Nick Leddy on the backhand. Great stop from Cam Ward. And then a little bit earlier on the power play, Patrick Sharp. Look at that net front presence. But again, Pat, Cam Ward being out so aggressive. No hesitation there from Patrick Sharp.
I mean, and you pointed out 3 or 4 times tonight about Cam Ward. And I mean, when he decides that he knows the guy's going to shoot the puck, he's coming. And so few goalies in today's game play that way. I mean, I'm looking down there thinking, is Grant Fuhr back in the game? You know? You hardly ever see it like that. Here's Kane. Knocked it up the boards and knocked away by Gerby. Keith. Now Gerby looks to steal, but Bickle got it back. And able to find Taves. The back pass to Kane. Patrick Kane without a point so far tonight, trying to change that, but this pass didn't work out, and 7 for the Hurricane. Gerby's up the ice. Nathan Gerby looks to the middle for Stahl. Knocked away. Good stick, Keith. And Taves. Gonna need some help from Seabrook.
And last line for Carolina, Pat, it was Jordan Stahl, Nathan Gerby, and Alexander Semin. So a little bit of line juggling going on right there.
Hans is knocked over. Eric Stahl trying to center, goes all the way back to Harrison. Threw it over to the other side. Now a centering attempt picked off out in front to Kane. He cleared it ahead. Sharp racing in. Sharp, a drag move around a check to the goal. The puck didn't quite follow him there. And the Canes dodge a bullet. Eric Stahl to the other end. Shooting. Blocked by Hjalmarsson nicely. Held into the line by Murphy. Ryan Murphy walks forward. Shooting for a tough angle and a save by Crawford, who needs to cover.
Here's Eric Stahl, similar area to where he got his assist on the lone goal of the game by Alexander Semin. Good shot block there from Nicholas Hjalmarsson. And then right after that, Ryan Murphy, the defenseman, skated all the way in and took a bad angle shot upstairs, and Crawford was able to stop it.
Falco long one is blocked. And Dwyer sends it right back in. Nordstrom clearing. And Falk was short of center when he dumped that, so icing here. The Hawks will get an offensive zone draw. Well, the Blackhawks have not won a game in Carolina since 1998. The last win here was in January of 98. Or at least in this state, wasn't even in this rink. They weren't here yet. They were playing in Greensboro. So, of course, we don't come here very often, but a long time since the Hawks have grabbed 2 points out of Carolina. Up by 1 midway in the third. Shaw with a wrister. It's handled easily by Cam Ward. Andrew Shaw assisted on what is at the moment the lead goal, a power play tally from Hossa. And the play really happened because in a goal mouth scramble, the Canes seem to have the puck. We're going to clear it easily on a PK, and Shaw lifted the guy's stick. All of a sudden they couldn't get it out. Hossa scored. That right now is the difference in the game. Here's a keep by Kruger. Smith with Kruger in the corner. Kruger now center it. Here's Oduya shooting. Oh, and he tried to go high glove, missed the net, and it bounced all the way out. Sutter for the Hurricanes. And that pass jammed up. Taves on the counterattack. A blowout for Harrison. Oh, and a diving Jay Harrison as he was falling to the ice. Able to swing the stick and break up what could have been a good scoring chance for Taves.
That's what you call the helicopter play right there. Desperation mode. Boy, Taves looked like he was shot out of a cannon through the middle of the ice pad and looked like he was going to be in all alone, but Jay Harrison denies the captain a great opportunity. Here's the play, the helicopter. Harrison on Taves. Hawks with a 2-1 lead.
Welcome back to Carolina, where we have a scenario behind each bench that you almost never see. There are two of the Blackhawk coaches who were teammates in New Jersey. Check out behind the Carolina bench. On the left is Johnny McLean. There's Kirk Muller in the center. There's Dave Lewis on the right. They were all 5 teammates in New Jersey way back when. I'm not going to tell you how long ago it was, but I can't remember ever seeing that before. We have 5 coaches on 2 different teams who all played together. There's a pass from Taves deflecting over to Keith. And Taves out of the corner, slipped in front, it didn't connect with Bickle. It goes to Seabrook, his long one, deflected up high. And Kane's able to get it out of there. Here's Kane back into the zone. Patrick Kane, who's got points in every game but one so far this year, looking for his first tonight. Keith tip, long shot was tipped, and it went just wide. Hawks looking to change here as Keith waits for that to happen. Well, the Hurricanes have possession, and Jay Harrison will bounce it forward. Taken by Oduya. Hjalmarsson's back pass finds Hossa getting the line. He's 1 against 4. Dropped it to Sharp. The puck, bouncing puck. He tried a shot that was blocked. And winds up back at center. Eric Stahl wrestling with Hjalmarsson. Puck picked up by Sharp. Shaw racing in there, was beaten to it, and Hainsey for the Hurricanes. Bounce it out of there. Here's Jeff Skinner in. Little stop and go move by Lenny. He got around. He shoots. Good save by Crawford. What a maneuver. Now in front of shot. Oh, good save by Crawford on a great bid from Dvorak. And now the Canes are coming. It bounces to the corner. Skinner trying to pry it loose. Roosevelt, though, did. Nordstrom failed to get it out. Long shot, Hainsey, they score! And when he was screened by his own man, Roosevelt, Crawford was, and Hainsey has tied the game.
And it's a little place. There's Joakim Nordstrom. He has this puck. You either got to eat it or that puck's got to get out. He turns it over. The shot from Hainsey. Corey Crawford did not have a stick pad on this play. He's standing there without his stick. There's the double screen, and it finds its way. It looked like it actually might have went between the legs of Michael Roosevelt. Yes. But look at Crawford. No stick. It's behind the net. And there you see the reaction of Crawford, and there you see the reaction of Nordstrom.
Quenneville has taken his timeout now, so both coaches have utilized their opportunity to slow things down. And the Blackhawks, who once led 2-0, are now even in the game on 2 third-period goals by the Hurricanes. By the way, I seem to remember my partner saying a while ago when the Blackhawks were dominating the first period and scored 2, but could have had a couple more, not able to add to the lead, and now all of a sudden it's a dogfight.
Yeah, we've seen this a couple of times this year, Pat, where it's going to be complete domination. I mean, the Tampa game comes to mind right off the bat. Yeah, they didn't even have a shot in the first period. Outshot them 37-7 after 2 periods. But again, that's why when you got a team on the run, you got to be able to find a way to take away any opportunity.
Ben Smith with a good shot, but a better save by Ward. And now a little skirmishing around the goal, but you don't want to do anything foolish here in a tie game. And interesting, after the tying goal scored by the Hurricanes, Quenneville comes out with his 4th line. And they wind up with a decent sequence with the Kruger, Smith, and Bollig. Now the Taves line hops over the boards.
Well, you made the great point, Pat. You got to make sure you have discipline in this situation on both sides. If the Hawks trying to change the momentum, and for Carolina, you're back in this hockey game.
Bickle to the front. Kane's got the puck, spins it out in front, and a steal by Gerby, trying to dance on Seabrook, and out comes Crawford to play it away. Kane to the other end. A backhander sticked away by Ward to Keith. He'll fire a wrist shot in and out of the glove of Ward. Held in. Nope, not held in by Seabrook. Now Toulouse sends it in. Kane's changing, as are the Hawks. And now the Hurricanes have control. Murphy getting organized. Harrison bounced it in. Oduya absorbs a hit. Able to play it along the boards to Hjalmarsson. Now Semin sends it behind the goal. Oduya left it for Handzus. Able to kick it out of the zone. And the Hawks will have to chase back. They battle in the corner. Oduya got control of it to Hjalmarsson. On his backhand, he made sure to get that one out. And now it deflects up over the glass and out of play. Early in this game, it looked like it might be a runaway. Not so much anymore. 5 minutes remaining in a tie battle. Like we promised you earlier tonight, it's Miller time. Brought to you by Miller Lite.
Well, the game-tying goal to this point, the shot from Ron Hainsey. Hawks not able to block that shot from the point. The turnover by Nordstrom. But Corey Crawford, watch what happens. We're talking about him losing his stick. Well, watch what happens. Right around the net. There, he loses his stick, and fourth time after that, the puck ends up in the back of the net.
Now Shaw couldn't get that in front. Kruger got turned around on the boards, and Skinner comes away. Letty has to turn quickly, got rid of it.
Good!
Roosevelt battling away. Now Skinner got it. He shot it, and a save by Crawford. And Skinner's going to draw a penalty. Roosevelt got too much of him. And the Blackhawks will be short-handed in a tie game.
Oh, tough shift here for Michael Roosevelt. Really back-to-back
Chicago
shifts.
penalty, number 32. 2 minutes
Turns
for
the puck
slashing.
over, and then Skinner has step on him, and he just gives him a two-handed slash. Right call made on the ice, and with 4:27 left to go, Carolina goes on the power play.
The Canes are nothing out of two with a man advantage tonight. Here's the draw. Hjalmarsson's clearing attempt took a funny hop and got out of there. They've had one shot. The Hurricanes on their first two unsuccessful power plays. Ruutu on to pass it to himself, wrapped up by Oduya. It jammed back to Eric Staal. Sekera to Staal, the one-timer off the side of the net. Rebound to Oduya. He got spun around. They play on, and the Canes stall. Sends it in front to Semin. Waits. Semin dropped it back. Sekera to Staal. Looking for a lane. Sekera now, his shot blocked out in front. Good block by Kruger, and the Hawks get rid of it.
Great patience there from Hjalmarsson. Everybody on the ice. Semin and Sekera thought he was going to throw it up the boards, but he knew where the open ice was able to shoot it down. Great play by Hjalmarsson.
Just under a minute for the Canes power play. Sekera's dump is chased by Seabrook. Keith, check. What a play by Duncan Keith with two guys on him. He found Hossa. Now here comes Taves. Gaining the line. Taves around a check right to the goal. He shoots. And to the last minute, poke checked and appeared by Ward. A great rush by the captain, and Ward kept it tied. Back come the Canes. Gerby couldn't get a puck to settle down. It's cleared back to center. Murphy cranks it in. Now Skinner off the boards. Kicks to the stick, turns deep. That's Skinner. Is checked by Seabrook. He won the puck, and he cleared it the other way. Great work from number 7. That will finish the Carolina power play. 2.5 remaining in regulation. 2-2 the score. Murphy in on Oduya with a wrister wide. Chased ahead by Roosevelt. Tapped to the Kane. Kane into the zone, waiting for help. Now takes a look and shoots. He tried to go high glove, missed the net. It bounced in behind a Kane. Patrick Kane rolled it over to Sharp. Sharp dropped it to Keith. Keith's backhander deflected into the other corner. It's Seabrook trying to keep it in. But Falk got the puck out. And no icing here. Keith will have to play it. Sends Kane up the ice. Patrick Kane dropped it to Patrick Sharp. His shot sucked up by Ward. No rebound.
A couple of terrific plays defensively and offensively for the Hawks while shorthanded. Pat, you called it. This great pass there by Duncan Keith to Marian Hossa. And then the one thing I love here, Pat, Jonathan Toews recognizes that's Eric Staal, a forward skating backwards. He recognizes this, and he takes the puck right to the net and goes right around. It's a little bit of a chop there from Andrej Sekera with the help of a poke check from Cam Ward. But just a couple of outstanding plays. Go back to the Hjalmarsson, too. The play that Hjalmarsson made, Pat, there. Just the understanding of where the outlet was. Two great plays there defensively by Keith and Hjalmarsson.
Saad's got it off the draw. Now Toews had it knocked free. Semin, a hoister. And it goes out of play, but it must have been tipped from the defensive zone as it exited the rink. So no penalty.
A little bit of a different look here.
Yeah.
A long shift there for Patrick Kane now. Kane comes back out. A strong shift prior to that little breather for Patrick Kane. Now back out here with Toews and Bickell.
84 to go in the third. And the draw. Kane's able to clear the zone. Bickell stepping back in. Sekera jammed by Toews, but he held the puck, and Andrej Sekera able to get back to center. Now a bouncer, and Crawford down to be careful with that. Falk for Carolina. 45 remaining in regulation. Dustin Falk forced to turn. Sekera. And look down on the Hawks bench. That puck deflected off the stick, up and out of play. It appeared no damage done. Take a look at the Captain Morgan upcoming schedule. The St. Louis Blues will be in town on Thursday night, followed by the Toronto Maple Leafs on Saturday. And then the Hawks will go down to Florida to take on the Panthers on October 22nd. 2 days later, they'll be in Tampa. Half a minute remaining. And now an icing call made against the Hurricanes, so the Hawks get an offensive zone draw. With the Hanzus line out there, but he will step in to take the face-off. Or no, Sharp will, sorry. Sharp and Eric Staal. And Sharp bounced it back. Hjalmarsson wouldn't connect on a feed. Oso working the wall, though, kicked it in deep. Try to pry it free, then Eric Staal did. 15 left, here he comes. Staal bounced it towards Ruutu. That's an offside play, though. And the whistle.
No chance for Carolina, really. It looked like they had numbers going one way, but the Hawks forwards did a great job of coming back. You hear that term of back pressure. Look at all those players coming all the way back. That's a great job there from Patrick Sharp, coming all the way back, forces the offsides. Sharpie doing it all. Back checking and playing like linesman there. Like Ronnie Finn or Ronnie Hasselstein.
Danny McCord. Hawks get this one out. This is going to finish the third period. So after a dominant first period in which the Blackhawks scored 2 unanswered, the Canes were better in the second and they were good in the third. They get 2 unanswered there. We go to extra time in Carolina tonight. Hawks have had 33 shots so far. The Hurricanes 30. Let's take a look at how we got to extra time.
Oh, what a first period for the Hawks, out shooting Carolina 15-5. The man who got it all started, Patrick Sharp, first of the season, 200th of his career, 1-0 lead, and Andrew Shaw lifts up the stick of Belmore, and then Marian Hossa skate right, shoot left, 2-0 lead. Carolina played much better in the second, and then here in the third, Alexander Semin, turnover, Ron Hainsey with the shot, 2-2, headed to overtime.
And we're underway already in OT. That rush broken up by Falk, but carried on Keith. A shot, good save, Ward, rebound, batted in behind. Now Kane, dropped it towards Seabrook. Justin Falk for the Hurricanes. Able to send it away to Gerby. Nathan Gerby moves in, looks for Falk. He's right to the goal. Oh, save! Might have been blocked actually out in front by Keith. Now the rebound picked up by the Hawks. Taves feathers it ahead. There goes Kane. He might get to the net. Kane to win it. And a save by Ward. What a bank pass from Jonathan Taves to send 88 off to the races.
You see the reaction from Patrick Kane looking at the replay up here on a Jumbotron. Off wing, left-handed shot coming down the right wing boards, trying to get the puck through the wickets, and then here's the pass, Nathan Gerby to Justin Falk. I think Crawford did fight that one off at the last second, off the shoulder.
Eric Staal's rink wide as a hot pass, picked up Semin. Looks back to Staal, it jumped away from him, Hossa the other way. Marian Hossa's got the line. A wrist shot and a save by Ward. Tried to surprise him with a quick release. It looked like he might make a drop pass. He just snapped it to the net.
Marian Hossa's had a real strong game here tonight, not only because he gets his second goal of the season, but the chances he's had in the third period, Pat. 2 A-plus chances there, doing the right thing, skating down those right wing boards. Maybe trying to follow up a rebound chance, but the puck has been following 81 here a lot here tonight.
Eric Staal cleared it ahead. Bounces around at center. Now they get it back. Semin up the middle. Semin to win it. And a save by Crawford. Able to hold off a very dangerous Semin.
Pat, I believe if Alexander Semin shoots this puck on the ice, the game's over. I mean, Corey Crawford did not. I think he was caught in between here, Pat. Very rarely you see Corey Crawford make a stop when he's standing straight up. But watch this. There's Semin, and look at Crawford. I mean, he held his ground beautifully there, but Semin shot it right into the belly protector, and that's a huge stop from Crawford.
Canes win the draw, but they couldn't get a shot away. And Saad cleared it ahead. Kruger couldn't get it back to him. Now Falk for Carolina. Justin Falk to Jeff Skinner. He gets into the zone, but checked nicely by Roosevelt. Letty banked it ahead for Saad. Unable to beat a check at the line, though. Ron Hainsey for the Canes. He scored the tying goal, trying to dance. Seabrook nearly did, threw it in front. It came into the middle, and the shot never got through. Good attempt there from the Hurricanes' Bowman, but he couldn't get it to the net. Now Hainsey. Now the Hawks are going to get a penalty. 5 attackers for Carolina. Murphy put it towards the middle. Then got it back. Murphy wants Semin. There's the pass. Semin tees it up, walks in, shooting. And a redirect went up high. I think Bowman got a piece and tipped it over the crossbar and out of play. Well, the Blackhawks are going to be short-handed as Brian Bickle is heading to the box.
Oh, what a great opportunity there for Alexander Semin, but it's the stick in the midsection right there. The same penalty, I believe, that Johnny Oduya took, Pat, coming into our camera down here in the second period. Remember, Carolina used their timeout earlier in this game.
Hawks PK has been real good, but now a game situation here with a more advantageous 4-against-3 power play.
Huge face-off there from Michael Hanzus on Eric Staal.
He's out along with Oduya and Hjalmarsson trying to kill it. Eric Staal with a ring around. There's Semin on the other side. Dropped it back. Murphy held it into Staal. Walks in. Center. Good stick, Oduya. Semin got it back. Well, they get things set up. Semin to his side. Put it out in front. Bounce away from Skinner. They'll have to reorganize him. Hawks able to change him up.
That pass isn't elevated. Pat Skinner's got a wide open chance. Not a bad idea there from Semin.
Skinner checked here by Keith. He broke up the rush. They'll have to reorganize again. Now it's Keith, Seabrook, and Kruger. Got to get through the next sequence of this penalty kill. Murphy gains the line. Semin a ring around, and Eric Staal dropped it up the boards. Skinner's stick lifted. Now Seabrook is without a cue, trying to glove it up the boards, and Eric Staal got it back. No stick, Seabrook. He's given one now by Kruger. Here's Murphy. Semin put it back. Here's a long. Now a look by Murphy. Center tip. Good save and a redirect. A Skinner tip was handled by Crawford.
Well, the reason Marcus Kruger gives his stick to Brent Seabrook is because he's the closest to the goaltender you want to be. Make sure that your defenseman has his stick. Now, Kruger's left-handed. Seabrook is right-handed. You'd rather have him with a wrong-handed stick than no stick at all. But Carolina moves it around, and then that quick little shot there. You see Skinner with the stick in front. Great save by Corey Crawford. This is a huge face-off here, Pat. Staal against Hanzus.
Half a minute of power play time, and Hanzus pulled it back. Hjalmarsson chased it down. Hey, cleared it down all the way.
1 minute.
A minute to go in OT. One more rush on the Hurricane power play. False carries it in. Dropped it back. It stays in the zone. Gerby dropped it. Here's a wide open Sekera looking to center. Gerby. Good block by Hjalmarsson. Picked up Hanzus. He's got time to clear it. A terrific penalty kill turned in by the Blackhawks, requiring a couple of good stops from Crawford, but now the penalty over. It's back to 4 aside. Half a minute left. Stop and go move from Jordan Staal. Rolled it to Gerby. He's checked, but he held the puck. Gerby turns deep. Dropped it back. Sekera long clip shot blocked. Seabrook. Rebound loose to the corner. Gerby shipped away by Keith. Now he turns it over. Shot blocked. Received by Crawford. Rebound back to the blue paint, and Crawford stopped Jordan Staal. Looked like the Hawks were out of harm's way, and in the final 10 seconds, 2 huge saves made by that man. We'll take a look at him when we come back. Let's catch our breath before a shootout in Carolina. Well, the Hawks looked like they were out of trouble late. Not so fast.
Yeah, the puck went off the stick skate of Jordan Staal. The giveaway by Duncan Keith, and then Justin Falk just throws this puck to the front of the net. Jordan Staal's right there, and Corey Crawford battling, finding the inside of his blocker to make that stop with less than 4 seconds remaining.
You see the Canes had 4 overtime shots. The Hawks had 3, so several opportunities each way to grab the second point.
I'm sorry, Pat. The shootout here looks like the Hawks are going to shoot first.
Yeah, typically the home coach. Well, generally the home coach will choose to shoot second,
right.
But
and a little bit of a change-up too here. Patrick Kane leading off.
All right, so a shootout to decide the second standings point. Usually it's Taves first. Tonight, it's Kane first.
I think you can open up Cam Ward here, Pat. Patrick Kane has a couple of great moves to open up forehand, backhand, and slide it between the legs.
He's moving slowly, now picking up a little speed. Kane, stick handling. He tried to go backhand right into the glove of Ward.
Well, he went forehand, backhand, Pat, but he tried to elevate it. See if there's any room between the legs here. Forehand, backhand. Oh, right on the ice. See how much room there was under the blade there? That move was there, but Kaner tried to go upstairs.
All right, now a 5'5" winger, Nathan Gerbe, is first up for Kirk Muller. And Gerbe coming right up the gut, weaving a little, waits, stick handle, shoots, Crawford on the right pad.
And Nathan Gerbe a little off center. Make a quick little move. Crawford stays the course, and it's a right pad on it.
The captain is up second tonight.
The second shooter for the Chicago Blackhawks, number 19, Jonathan Toews.
All right, so Toews in against Ward, who's well out on top of the crease. Toews waiting, stick handle, got him down. Oh, he couldn't lift it over the right pad.
Boy, what a move. Ward goes for the fake. He's down and in. Jonathan Toews is not able to elevate that puck up and over the right pad. Semon's more of a shooter than a deker.
He's had as many good chances as anybody on their team tonight, and now in the shootout, which is scoreless in the bottom of the second. Semon going to come in with some speed right up the gut. Looks, and he mishandled it. Never got rid of a shot. Maybe that's why he doesn't deke.
Boy, way too quick and just loses this puck. Looks like he was going to go for the deke there, Pat. Yeah, right off the heel of the stick.
All right, and now in the top of the third, a chance to put the Hawks in front for the new daddy. Patrick Sharp, who scored the game's first goal this evening, will be third up in the shootout. Here he comes up the gut. Sharp, stick handling, he scores! Patrick Sharp gives the Hawks a chance to win it.
Oh, what a great move by Patrick Sharp. Looks like he's going to go to his backhand. Cam Ward had no answer for that as Sharpie comes back to the glove side.
And now a must score for Jeff Skinner. He's got to finish this off to keep the Hurricanes alive. Skinner in on Crawford, who comes well out. Waits, shoots, Crawford, Hawks win! Hawks win! Corey Crawford goes 3 for 3 in the shootout after making 2 last-second saves. And the Chicago Blackhawks have picked up their first road win of the year in their second game away from home, as Crawford comes up large to cement the second point. And look at that. Hey, Sadie, Daddy just scored the game winner, just like he did when Madeline showed up. Well, Abby, I guess your job is to get pregnant as often as you can, because every time Patrick and Abby welcome a new young lady into the world, he gets a game winner in the next game. And he is our Lexus Pursuing Perfection player of the game, Patrick Sharp, who scored his first of the year after a great feed into open ice by Handzus allowed him to chase it down and walk in on a breakaway. That happened pretty early in the game tonight, and Patrick Sharp then got the game-winning goal in the shootout to send the Blackhawks to their 4th win of the season. Now for Eddie Olczyk and our entire CSN crew, this is Pat Foley, hoping you enjoyed the broadcast. We know you enjoyed the outcome. The Hawks 3, the Hurricanes 2 in a shootout. We'll see you again in a couple of nights. Pat and Steve are in the Chicago studios. Pick it up, fellas.